Volume by price is an overlay that can be used to identify current support and resistance levels, and it can also be used to estimate future support and resistance levels. Now, that's really important that you understand what I just said. So let's go ahead and load up this overlay. So scroll down here to the bottom in the chart attributes area, click on the overlay box, and select volume by price, then click update. And here is the volume by price overlay on this stock chart for Yahoo. So what's really important to remember about this particular overlay is that it is only used to identify current and future support and resistance levels. So all of this price action back here cannot be applied to this particular overlay because you're looking at what's going on right now within the current 5 sessions or so and 2 to 3 weeks out in the future. Okay, so that's really important you understand that. Now the long volume by price bars reveal an area of elevated interest. So long bars under the price should be watched as potential levels of support during a pullback like Yahoo bounced right here at the top of this bar. And also long bars above prices should be watched as potential areas of resistance, which there are none on this chart. Now let's take a look at another example, IBM. First you're looking for the longest volume by price bar, which is right here. The price is below this bar, so it was a level of resistance right there. It got turned back right there at the bottom of this long volume by price bar, and it's also a future level of resistance. Now it looks like a close above this day would be bullish, and a close above the upper wick here on this particular day would be very bullish. Okay, so when a stock breaks above an area of potential resistance, that would be obviously turning to the bullish side if the stock price was above the top here of this bar, way up here at about 202.50. Okay, so because it would be breaking above all resistance in this entire area right here. Okay, but it worked 5 sessions ago that this long-legged doji, which can be a reversal signal in an uptrend, okay, was the top. It got rejected at the intraday high right here at the lower end of this particular volume by price bar. Now let's take a look at this chart for BEBE. Okay, this is the longest volume bar, but it's so far above it that, you know, sure, it'll be support if it ever gets back there. So let's pick the next one. Okay, this is the second longest volume by price bar, which would be a level of support, hopefully during a pullback because the price is above this bar. And as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 sessions ago, 5 sessions ago, it formed a beautiful little tiny hammer, which is a reversal signal in a downtrend. Okay, which was right in the just below the lower part of this volume by price bar. So basically it has found support in this area, okay, in the last 5 sessions. So it went a little bit lower, but it's just showing that it now has support in this area. Okay, really good volume on the breakout. Okay, it's breaking out again. The day is still young, but the volume needs to be up a little to be qualifying a blue sky breakout today. Okay, but as far as future support, if it goes up and then pulls back again, this level right here, the top of this bar or anywhere in this bar, should provide a level of support in the future. Now let's go ahead and look at BBX. This is now the most important volume by price bar. Okay, And what the stock has done, it's very bullish. First of all, to be breaking above this area of resistance on the stock chart, but it also broke above this area of resistance on the volume by price bar. Okay, so that's very bullish. What it means now that the price is above the bar is that any pullback in the future, this bar should be an area of support from now on. Okay, that was really nice volume, increasing volume on the breakout into blue sky territory. And this is getting a little vertical here, so I would expect it to pull back a little. Okay, usually pulls back to the last area of resistance on the price chart, which would be a nice level of support here on the volume by price bar. Okay, now let's take a look at RAS. This is by far the longest volume by price bar. The price is below it, which means this is going to be quite potentially a level of resistance as it tries to break out here. Okay, one thing to notice about most of these bars is the red is much bigger than the green volume days. Okay, so that is a pretty bearish sign. And as you can see, lots of resistance, lots of pullbacks. Okay, but right now it's forming a bullish inverse head and shoulders chart pattern where it drops down to set the first left shoulder here, then it goes up, drops back down to form the head here, goes back up, tries to achieve this old high but fails, pulls back, sets the right shoulder here, and if you draw a line down through the tops here, it is already broken above that. So in a way, that is an initial sign of bullishness. Then to clear this level of resistance would be even more bullish, and then to clear this level of resistance would be very bullish. And at that point, it would be up in the range of the bar, and if it was to break above the top of the bar, okay, if it was to come up here and then in the future pull back, this bar will most likely become a new level of support. But in order for it to break above this level of resistance, it's going to need a lot more volume. It'll probably take even more volume to break above this level of resistance here. And then probably even more because of all the red here in order to clear this level of resistance here, according to the volume by price bar. Now, AAU just did something interesting. Okay, this is the longest volume by price bar right here. It formed, after this long vertical fall, a cup and handle chart pattern. And when it broke above neckline resistance right here, it had very nice volume. Now, what's important here is the price is now above this bar. So this bar should, in future, provide a level of support instead of resistance like it was back here. Now, if it gets good volume and breaks above this and this level of resistance, that would be very bullish to break out above all resistance up until this point on this chart. But it's going to take bigger volume than it's getting today in order to break this area of resistance. Now, this is one overlay I would not leave up all the time, but I would just check it once a week to get an idea of where support and resistance are and to get a look into the future of where it might be. Okay, because it kind of gets in the way here and it would interrupt our usual overlays like Bollinger Bands, moving averages, the parabolic SAR, which we've already covered. And as with most technical indicators, it's a good idea to combine its findings with other forms of technical analysis. Momentum oscillators and chart patterns are two good complements to this particular form of chart analysis. And one more great thing about this overlay is it works on any time frame you can load onto a chart. Now, as a free member, you're limited to daily and weekly, but paid members can load it on 1-minute charts, 5-minute, 15-minute, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly charts.